Hello, everyone. Today we will be reading Chapter 1, Section 2, Revelation, Time, and Miracles in accordance with the lesson of the day, which is Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. All right, the corresponding section of the text for the day is Section 2 of Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles. Section 2 says Revelation, Time, and Miracles. 1. Revelation induces complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear. It reflects the original form of communication between God and His creations, involving the extremely personal sense of creation sometimes sought in physical relationships. Physical closeness cannot achieve it. Miracles, however, are genuinely interpersonal and result in true closeness to others. Revelation unites you directly with God. Miracles unite directly with your brother. Neither emanates from consciousness, but both are experienced there. Consciousness is the state that induces action, though it does not inspire it. You are free to believe what you choose, and what you do attests to what you believe. 2. Revelation is intensely personal and cannot be meaningfully translated. That is why any attempt to describe it in words is impossible. Revelation induces only experience. Miracles, on the other hand, induce action. They are more useful now because of their interpersonal nature. In this phase of learning, working miracles is important because freedom from fear cannot be thrust upon you. Revelation is literally unspeakable because it is an experience of unspeakable love. 3. Awe should be reserved for revelation, to which it is perfectly and correctly applicable. It is not appropriate for miracles because a state of awe is worshipful, implying that one of a lesser order stands before his Creator. You are a perfect creation and should experience awe only in the presence of the Creator of perfection. The miracle is therefore a sign of love among equals. Equals should not be in awe of one another because awe implies inequality. It is therefore an inappropriate reaction to me. An elder brother is entitled to respect for his greater experience and obedience for his greater wisdom. He is also entitled to love because he is a brother, and to devotion if he is devoted. It is only my devotion that entitles me to yours. There is nothing about me that you cannot attain. I have nothing that does not come from God. The difference between us now is that I have nothing else. This leaves me in a state which is only potential in you. 4. No man cometh unto the Father but by me, does not mean that I am in any way separate or different from you except in time, and time does not really exist. The statement is more meaningful in terms of a vertical rather than a horizontal axis. You stand below me and I stand below God. In the process of rising up, I am higher because without me, the distance between God and man would be too great for you to encompass. I bridge the distance as an elder brother to you on the one hand, and as a son of God on the other. My devotion to my brothers has placed me in charge of the sonship, which I render complete because I share it. This may appear to contradict the statement, I and my Father are one. But there are two parts to the statement in recognition that the Father is greater. 5. Revelations are indirectly inspired by me because I am close to the Holy Spirit and alert to the revelation readiness of my brothers. I can thus bring down to them more than they can draw down to themselves. The Holy Spirit mediates higher to lower communication, keeping the direct channel from God to you open for revelation. Revelation is not reciprocal. It proceeds from God to you, but not from you to God. 6. The miracle minimizes the need for time. In the longitudinal or horizontal plane, the recognition of the equality of the members of the sonship appears to involve almost endless time. However, the miracle entails a sudden shift from horizontal to vertical perception. This introduces an interval from which the giver and receiver both emerge farther along in time than they would otherwise have been. The miracle thus has the unique property of abolishing time to the extent that it renders the interval of time it spans unnecessary. There is no relationship between the time a miracle takes and the time it covers. The miracle substitutes for learning that might have taken thousands of years. It does so by the underlying recognition of perfect equality of giver and receiver on which the miracle rests. The miracle shortens time by collapsing it, thus eliminating certain intervals within it. It does this, however, within the large temporal sequence. This was section 2 of chapter 1, the meaning of miracles. Section 2 being revelation, time, and miracles. Something that stands out to me in here is that in that last paragraph where it's talking about how the miracle minimizes the need for time and how it introduces an interval from which the giver and receiver both emerge farther along in time than they would otherwise have been. And what I've been coming to understand is that when I share the lessons I have learned and the experiences I have had with my brothers and the changes of perspective I have come to as the truth is being shown to me, it in that way I'm testifying to his truth in my life. And in the same way, those I'm sharing with are witnessing it. And as they witness it, it allows them to convert their own beliefs to that truth if it resonates with them. And in that way, it shortens the amount of time it takes for all of us to heal. In sharing our experiences with each other and the lessons we learn and the understandings we get from them, we help our brothers to heal their misperceptions, their misunderstandings of things they've experienced in their lives that may be similar to what we've experienced. And it's sharing from our truth that helps heal. When we testify to his truth in our life and we stand in that light of truth and don't waver from it, we become the light for those around us. And it's that sharing that gives and sheds light to everyone we cross paths with. Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. This is not true. However, until you until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercises for the day. Applying the same idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. When using the idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to it. For example, I am not angry at blank for the reason I think. I am not afraid of blank for the reason I think. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe, and forms of upset which you think result. In these exercises, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate, to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than to others. It might help to proceed the exercises with the statement: there are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing so. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's idea to some perceived sources of upset than to others. If this occurs, think first of this: I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so, and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. Apply the idea for today to each of them, using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and of the feeling as you experience it. Further examples are: I am not worried about blank for the reason I think. I am not depressed about blank for the reason I think. 3 or 4 times during the day is enough. So, with this lesson, I am never upset for the reason I think. It is showing us that the thoughts, the feelings that we perceive, and the physical responses we experience are all connected, one to the other. And when we are upset by something, it's never for anything that we think it's about. In truth, it's usually from a misperception that we ourselves are holding forth as being true. So, as this is telling us, every time we think that something is upsetting to us, remind ourselves that we are never upset for what we think we're upset for. We're never afraid for the reason we think we are. We're never worried about whatever it is that we think we're truly worried about, and we're never depressed about what it is that we think we're depressed about. There's always something else hidden deeper underneath it. and in everything. There's no difference between any of them. They are all exactly alike and the same. We just continue to believe them to be different. And all of them are disturbing to our peace of mind. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Sabrina Reyenga with Alex behind the camera today. He will be joining us soon enough in front of it for the discussions that he is terrified of. Love and light to all of you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.